Hey everybody, Nathaniel Bungie here for TechSession, and today I'm bringing you the unboxing and first impressions of the LG 27UL600. This is a productivity-focused 27-inch 4K monitor that has HDR as well as AMD FreeSync. I needed a new monitor for my office setup, and I don't game a whole ton, so this seemed like the perfect fit for me. We'll get started with the unboxing by removing the stand from the styrofoam. It feels like a nice metal stand and looks pretty good too. We also have the neck that mounts to the actual stand itself and connects it to the monitor. Also seems like a nice metallic look. We have what appears to be some kind of a cap for the stand. We'll set that aside for now. And then we'll move on to the cables. This monitor comes with a white HDMI cable, and you also get a white DisplayPort cable as well. It's perfect that they include both because those are the two connections found on this monitor. We also have this quite large power brick. It's got a DC barrel plug on one end. And then on the other end we have a grounded plug, and this adapter, like I said, is pretty large. It fits in my hand and kind of fills it up, so it might be tough to find an outlet. Continuing on, we have a bag of screws, which is likely to put the stand together so you can attach it to your monitor. We have a loose CD, which is an interesting choice, especially considering it contains the owner's manual, and most people don't even have CD/DVD drives anymore, so not really sure why LG thought that was important to include. Finally, we move on to the literature. They have a registration card. They have a safety and regulatory information packet. We have a quality assurance test for the display, basically confirming that it passed all the checks at the factory. It comes with a card telling you how to handle and take care of your screen so you don't damage it. And finally, we have a sort of packing list so you can make sure you received everything that you were supposed to, and it'll also help you get started with your monitor. We will continue by removing the actual monitor from the packaging. We got to lift up the styrofoam on top of it first, and that will reveal the monitor in this little bag. We'll go ahead and remove that and continue. So now that we have the monitor out of its bag, you can see this is a nice bezel-less design with the exception of this ½ or so on the bottom. It's a matte screen, not crazily so, but just enough. And then on the back side, this is where our I/O and mounting options are at. You can see first of all, we have the place for our stand to attach to. Looks like it's made of metal, which is awesome. We have a 100 by 100 VESA mount if you wanted to mount this monitor. We've got the LG logo on the top, and then as far as our I/O is concerned, we have DisplayPort, we have two HDMIs, we have an audio out, and we have our power plug. There are two vents on the bottom, and also a joystick control, as well as a Kensington lock slot. We'll continue on and get the stand attached. Simply slide the neck over the metal piece protruding out the back of the monitor, and this is where the two screws will come in handy. They're Phillips heads, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to find a screwdriver. Just put them in and get them nice and tight so your monitor doesn't fall off. Once that's attached, we'll take the cap from before. That'll just snap on top of that to hide your screws. Makes it look a little bit nicer from the back side. And then finally, on the bottom of the neck, you'll see there's a threaded hole. That's actually where we're going to attach the base of the stand to. You can see the threaded screw on this side, and then if we flip it over, you'll actually see that there is a flat head screw with a loop of sorts. That way you can finger tighten this without needing to grab a screwdriver. So all we have to do to get that installed is it's pretty straightforward. You just slide it on, screw it in tight, and at that point you are all finished with getting your stand put together. Next up is getting it connected to see how it looks. We'll start by connecting the DisplayPort cable, in my case, to my CalDigit TS3 Thunderbolt dock. And then on the other end, we'll connect the DisplayPort cable to the back of the monitor. Again, this has one DisplayPort and two HDMI, and we're using the one DisplayPort in this case. With that connected as well as the power, we should be ready to try everything out. You can see that the monitor detected that we connected the DisplayPort device to the monitor. We'll use a joystick on the bottom to tell it yes, we do want to use this connection. You can see we have the Thunderbolt cable connected to my laptop, and through the dock that is now mirroring my screen onto this LG monitor. My first impressions are that the color is obviously a little bit different looking than it is on the laptop. That's obviously due to it being a different screen type, but I do know that the LG has some color profiles you can change if you do or don't like what you see. It's actually pretty granular. We'll go in and take a quick look at what we're seeing in terms of pixel density. This again is a 27-inch 4K monitor, so you'll be able to see a little bit of pixels if you get really close, but it's nothing crazy at all, and frankly I'm pretty impressed coming from my 15-inch laptop. This is a very nice looking monitor. On the bottom we have our joystick control. It's probably one of the most straightforward monitor controls I've ever used in terms of looking at settings. And speaking of settings, we'll go through a few of the menus here just to see what options we have. All you have to do to navigate is push the little joystick toggle on the bottom of the monitor in the direction you want to go, and it will actually push in to select something like we just did here to get into the picture mode. You can see all the options I was just speaking about there. If you don't like how your picture looks on the monitor, you can certainly tweak it. Again, this is an HDR monitor as well, so your colors will look a lot nicer. You will have deeper blacks and brighter brights, and that will kind of affect the way that the colors are displayed, of course. I'm no color professional, so I'm not going to be able to give a ton of commentary there, but I can just tell you that it looks very nice and very sharp, at least as far as I can tell now. And I'll give you guys a little bit closer look at the joystick here on the bottom. Again, you can see it's just a little toggle there, and to get through your menus, you just push it in the direction that you want to go. It'll correspond directly with the same direction on screen, which is pretty great. This is a lot better than old monitors where you had to use other buttons that weren't designated for menus just to get around. I've never had this on a monitor before, but it seems like an absolute game changer. You hold it down to turn it on and off, and otherwise you just push it around where you want to go. On the bottom of the monitor as well, you can see they do have an LED light. You can configure this to be on when the monitor is on, or on when the monitor is off through those menus we were looking at. I personally have it set to only turn on when the monitor is off, but that again is completely up to you how you want your setup to look. And you can see here our 60 Hz screen refresh rate. Again, nothing crazy, but I don't game a lot, so it's not going to look buttery smooth, but it's certainly fine for productivity use. Again, this is a great looking monitor, especially for office and homework tasks, so I recommend it to anyone. Again, this is Nathaniel Bungie for TechSession with the LG UL600W 4K monitor. Thank you.